What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Moving on Purpose. I'm your boy Chris.
Welcome back. It's your boy Jarrell.
Yes,
How you feeling, my boy?
I'm Gucci, man. How you?
Oh, it's been a minute, man.
Yes, sir. We back at it.
You went to Miami. How was Miami, bro?
Yo, that shit was cool, man. That shit was cool. It was a little weekend trip, you know. Yeah. So it was a cool trip. My boy Ratty Bags. We had shot a music video out there.
Tough.
But it was cool. Seeing some shit out there. It was like roses and lamb trucks and shit. I'm like,
oh yeah, you told me how you was like lined up with the lamb truck and the vendor.
So we was in a vet.
Yeah.
The people we was rolling with, it was like 2 Rolls Royces. Somebody was in a Venador, but like we pulled up, parked up and shit. And then like somebody like pulled out their phone, like, yo, look, da 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 da. I'm like, this is what it feel like to be a fast like a movie. I'm like, why? But that shit was a cool little weekend though. That shit was fun. That shit was definitely fun.
That's a vibe. I ain't really getting into nothing during my weekend.
Nah.
Chilling, had a slow weekend.
Cool,
but listen, bro, we talking about the topic that I feel like it's gonna get us to where you felt like that superstar with them lamb chops.
No cap.
Consistency, my boy.
Consistency.
As you can see, we said consistency with a little bit of weight on our chest, as you could say.
Right.
Because it's not easy.
Not at all.
And to kick off consistency, we want to start with this little quote right here by the Aldous Huxley, famous American writer back in the day. Consistency is contrary to nature, contrary to life. The only completely consistent people are dead. I'm gonna say that one more time. That's a heavy quote. Yeah. That's heavy.
You don't usually hear that.
It's a different take. Consistency is contrary to nature, contrary to life. The only completely consistent people are dead. How does that make you feel? What's your opinions on that quote?
So, I see what he's saying.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's supposed to be like so literal, like, yo, don't be consistent in anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like what is reading to me is like, don't harp so hard on being consistent, because no matter how consistent you try to be, there's no way to be 100% consistent. I kind of disagree in a way, because like, I mean, it's facts though. The only consistent thing is something that's dead or non-living. You feel me? It's like,
even that is not consistent.
Exactly, right? Because you decay. So
yeah.
It's still untrue in that sense.
Yeah.
So, but I see what he's trying to say though. Like, at least I feel that's what he's trying to say. Don't be so hard on consistency. Whereas, you know, you bent over backwards trying to be consistent, and all I know, you just don't be consistent. But
so you think it's saying don't be too hard on yourself?
That's what I take it as.
Yeah.
Let me hear what you think. I'm gonna read it one more time.
For sure. Nah, I think that's a good point. I never thought of it like that. I was thinking more so as to like, it was a dig at the way he's like, the way we set up our culture in terms of like grinding all the time, being super like locked in and trying to like achieve to reach new heights in this capitalistic, you know, I guess world that it's just unrealistic. Like, you ever just had it, like, for example, for a job, right? Going there every day. You ever had that feeling where it's like, bro, no one wants, this is not life.
Right,
This is some machine-based shit.
Exactly.
So I feel like that's what he was getting at. Now, do I agree? Nah, not necessarily, because I feel like the system we in allows for other people to do different things consistently. Like, so say, like, you know, what we do, right? Say our normal jobs. Say we didn't have jobs, but we would have to like feed ourselves consistently. We have to hunt. We have to clean our food. We have to like do all this other stuff that other people get paid to do.
Yeah.
So we could focus our energy somewhere else. So I feel like whether you want to be consistent or not, you would have to, because you literally have to eat.
Yeah,
like
literally. Yeah.
So
you want to live.
You
want to live.
So I get what he's saying,
Right.
and I felt those same emotions. It's like it's unnatural to be consistent, but at the same time, it's not.
Yeah.
Because you have to.
Yeah, exactly.
At some level, you know what I mean?
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So what's the thing about consistency? Like, a lot of people, I don't know, I want to say, let's back that up, right?
Let's go. What's
important about consistency, right? Because, I mean, a lot of people obviously consistency is what we all want to achieve, right? But like, why is it important? What do you think it brings out in your life?
Consistency is like the equation for anything you want, I feel like, or at least things in like, you know, on a large scale, I would say. Because if you can't just wake up and get something today, or even like next week, consistency is gonna be the only thing that gets you there. Like, anything with like, you know, some type of significance. So I like to use references to like fitness and shit, because you know, the whole fitness journey. So like that's the most easiest and like easiest way to grasp it. Like, yo, you 250 pounds, you want to get to 200, you got to consistently stop doing whatever you was doing before to get there. So it's like now you got like, no matter what, whether you realize it or not, you're being consistent in your habits and whatever it is. Now, to change, if you have a goal or something you want to get to, you have to change what you're being consistent in.
Yeah.
So whereas before, if you're consistently eating unhealthy, you're not being active, you gotta switch it. Now you gotta consistently eat healthy, consistently be active, and like continually keep on doing it to achieve whatever you're trying to achieve.
That's a fact.
So that's why I think it's important, because it's better to be consciously consistent, because now you're moving in a direction instead of like, I'm consistently doing whatever I don't want to get. But what you think?
Yeah, no, I think the same thing. And like to that little point that you made, not the little point, because I feel like that's the grand point. It gets you to literally wherever you're trying to go.
Exactly.
But I'll say just even like the little benefits of just being consistent. A lot of the drawbacks, I guess would say, is like mundane. It's like you feel like you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But it builds that mental discipline.
Yeah.
Like when you're able to really lock in on something and like understand why you're doing it and commit to it, it just makes you feel better and more certain in your, your standards. Like you stand on that. You know,
that's a fact.
It's not something that you're willing to go back on, and
that's a fact.
You put in all the work for something like what you said, when you finally get there, when you see the efforts or the fruits of your consistent efforts, it'll be so like rewarding. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing really like that feeling of like finally getting something you've been trying to get like consistently for like a couple years. So I feel like outside of just actually getting there, I feel like there's some purpose in that. Like you just feel good. Like you know what I mean? Like
to finally make it, you like yo. Few months back, I said I was gonna do this, and you get there, you're like, yo, it's just that cool. You get to where
finally, it's like a natural high. Like, you know what I mean? You just feel way different. You move different. You step different.
For sure.
You breathe. They're like everything's way different.
That's a fact.
So you feel me? It's definitely hard.
That's a fact.
It's something to get into. So why do you feel like it's so hard for people? Like, why do you feel like people skip consistency?
It's boring. Let's start there. It's boring. It's like, to consistently do like the shit you needed, because like all the time when we do, even like me like New Year's, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna stop drinking whatever. I went for like a month and a half, and then like I took a little sip here and there, and then after that it was like
back in the mix.
You feel me? Back in the mix, in the, you feel me? It's like I'm not like a chronicle drinker, but I'll like on the weekends here and there take a little sip. But
for sure,
it's just like to consistently do something that like, because I was saying that point to say like, yo, in your mind when you're doing something, it's like, yo, your brain like, yo, why are you doing this? Like, you feel me? Just stop. It's like, you shouldn't be doing this. You know what you're trying to do, but like even though you're like, yo, fuck it, because in the meantime, like you're getting that momentarily high or whatever. Like, yo, if I eat this donut right now, this shit. You feel me? Right.
What I need.
This is what I need. You drink that liquor, whatever. You feel me? Get you right. So to consistently not like just abstain from something, it's like, that shit is boring. One, it's like everything else is like it's just funner. Like it's just because in the moment everything is always better. So
that's a fact. But why is it boring though? Like, because this is something I do like consistently myself, right? Like you trying to do something, say it's like abstain from drinking or smoking or whatever it is, whatever your vice is. In that moment, it'll be so strong, you'll just forget the whole reason why you wanted to do it in the first place. Right. That's another reason why I feel like consistency is just overlooked, because to break out of a bad habit takes a lot. Like, I feel like you got to do like a lot of little steps till you get there. So when people feel like, that's another thing, like not only is it boring, it's overwhelming sometimes when you think about all the things that you have to do to get to a goal that you want to get to, and all the lifestyle changes that you have to make. I feel like people just get overwhelmed. So I feel like some good things to just like break that up is just to set little baby steps to reach milestones. I feel like if you want to, for example, like buy a house, you should focus maybe on like setting a budget first, and really get your money in, instead of worrying about like, damn, I gotta save up all this money. You feel what I'm saying? I gotta stop doing this. I gotta start doing this. I gotta make more money.
Smaller steps.
Break it into smaller steps and help you get there. But even then, that's hard, and that gets boring. Because it's like, okay, in order to save money, I have to stop going out. But it's like, this week ain't gonna be lit. Like I have to step out.
If it take like 6 months of that 6 months is a drag. Cause it's like, yo, even though it's a grand thing, like you buying your crib, you feel me, it's like a future investment, all that, but those 6 months compared to that one transaction, it's just like, in our brain, it does like, yo, we losing 6 months of fun for one purchase. So it's like, it doesn't weigh out in the short term.
I'm glad you said that, because I feel like a lot of what consistency is, and just like trying to like achieve goals, and I feel like we should have a whole episode for this. Honestly, it's just changing your mind state.
Yeah.
Like once you really align with what you want, it's easy to do it. Now it's not. It's easy to like to slip in and out of that mindset, right? Like sometimes you may be like super locked in on the goal because you know why you want it. Yeah. And there may be other times where it's like, man, I'm living super fast. I'm not even enjoying the fruits of life.
Yeah, right,
What am I doing all this for?
Battle.
Yeah, yo. So keeping that why is so like super important. Right. But again, it's just like it's rough, bro.
It's just like. Cause the short term rewards like outweigh the long term, at least in the short term.
In the moment.
Yeah, in the moment.
Yeah.
So it's like it's easy to be like, yo, shit, man, I'm about to go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
Why I'm about to buy Apple stock?
Right.
You feel me? It's like, is this an investment? You know, it's smart, But in the short term, it's like, yo, you're enjoying it. Like you can't enjoy a 50% return.
Yeah.
Like at least in the short term.
Not
like,
in the short term.
Until you sell, it's not a return yet.
Right.
So your brain doesn't really like grasp onto that. Like, oh, okay, all right, I'm putting my portfolio this way. It's like, man, fuck all. I'm trying to go to such and such. You feel me? Pop some bottles out or whatever. So it's just easier to do certain things. Whereas consistency pays off in the long term.
Yeah.
Whereas the short term you get the fun. You get the fun now. That's mainly what I would chalk it up to, like why it's so hard. That's what I would say though.
Yeah, it's really adjusting that mindset though.
For
like I said, it's hard. But once you really get locked in, you there, bro.
Nah,
There's nothing that could really stop you.
Not for sure.
You really be locked out of those distractions. I feel like that's a key way to like segment into the next question. How do you avoid distractions? Like, so it's like when you are like, say, a consistent clubber, consistent smoker, consistent whatever you do, whatever you're consistent in that's keeping you from being great. How do you avoid that? You know what I mean? Do you just like abstain it from your life? I feel like it varies case by case. Obviously, some people just have to take it out their life all at once. Some people have to like wean off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's been your experience and your approach to stuff like that?
For me, I'll say it depends on like you said, it depends on personality type. Because as far as like, I can control like smoking and the drinking. Because like I quit smoking. But like I couldn't like just I went to Miami, I smoked a little bit. I could come back and like I'm done.
Yeah.
Whereas like the drinking, because before I used to be like a heavy smoker, so I know how it is to like before, like if I was smoked that weekend, like alright, fuck, I'm smoking. I'm right back on it. But now it's easier to really just cut it off. Drinking is easier to really cut it off, but it's certain things like it's just. It depends on the personality
For
type.
example, like sweets, right? That's kind of like...
Oh, that's me. That's me. Yeah, that's me.
How do you avoid that?
There you go. How
to get into it.
Right. Now we talking.
Yeah, it depends on the person and the habit, but sweets.
For me, that's where it's like, yo, you feel me, bro? This week I was telling you, bro, I bought like 2 boxes of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You feel me? Like, I can't. Like, something about Cinnamon... Yo, I don't know about y'all, but Cinnamon Toast Crunch... They got it. You feel me? They whatever. Yeah. But you feel me? So sweet. For me, how I do it though, like I just keep it out the house because if I go grocery shopping and it's not here, I can stay away. But anytime, like bro, I was telling like yo, I could try to like have cookies like for when guests come over. You feel me? Just like little snacks and shit. Yeah. If nobody come over, this shit is going down, bro. I'm nailing this shit. So it's like I try to keep it away or just. Don't have the option to get it. Like just keep it like inaccessible because I'm not about to put like most of the time I'm not stopping at 7-Eleven to grab some cookies or like you feel me like so if it's not in the house I can stay away from it. But I would say really just keeping it away and like try to we talked about that on another episode like just curating your environment. So if people aren't bringing it into your life also it's easier to really abstain from things like you don't want to do or being consistent on something you're on. But it's like even like let's say it's like abstinence from sex or something like that.
Yeah.
Feel me? Let's say you try to stay abstinent. You feel me? As men, you feel me? So we see thinking as men. Shorty hits you up. Yo, bruh.
phone.
It's like that's what I'm saying. So it's like
Throw the phone.
It really depends because certain things is like it's really harder. Like you trying to say what's it called? What's the word?
Discipline.
Not discipline. When you trying to wait till marriage? What's that?
Not abstinence. Celibate.
Yeah, so let's say you trying to say it's like. Certain, it might be easy to put down a bottle of Henny, but you get a text, you feel me? It's a little. Now it all takes discipline, but you know, it's just. I would just say like having an environment where it's not you know, you don't have access to it. That's what I would chalk it down to.
And like what's your point? I think that's super important what you just touched on, right? Because earlier in my life, I used to be like some willpower ass nigga. I used to play sports. I'm like, man, you just do it. Like mind over matter. You'll be alright. But it's like, why tempt yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
If you gonna keep the things in your environment and just not do it, that's you could probably get to that point. But why start there? Just take it out first, and then you get. You feel me? You get time to react to it without it being in your environment.
Right.
So I think that's a good like point. Yeah. And like there's certain activities that build discipline, and then there's certain activities that like drain like your discipline meter. If that makes sense.
Goes that,
so if that like
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like for example, like for me, like you know, smoking for example, like if like there's weed around me. It's probably not the best situation for me to be around, so I just remove it whenever I'm not trying to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
This is definitely different levels to different shit. So I feel that. So
let me ask you this. Would you good? About
no, go ahead.
All right, bro. I was gonna ask you this. What what are ways like you think we could practice being consistent? Like we know how to avoid it. We're saying like why it's so important, but what are ways like we can implement it, like really staying consistent? You think?
Man, ain't no better way but to do it, bro. Honestly, I feel like you said, breaking it down into different like little tasks is the best way to do it. So if you want to start working out, for example, maybe you don't just go out there and get a gym membership and buy all these gym clothes and do stuff like that. Maybe you wake up, you go for a walk one day. The next day, you do another walk. The whole week you do walks for like 5 days straight. Right. Then you wake up, you start doing some calisthenics, you start doing some push-ups, some sit-ups, and you build on that for like a month. And now you got some momentum. You created that momentum to now where you can actually take bigger steps. And you can actually like now go into the gym, and now you actually in the gym. You're not intimidated because you know what workouts you want to do. You know exactly what you want to focus on, and you had experience doing it before. It's not like your first time picking up a weight or walking again, because that could be a little intimidating and embarrassing in some situations, especially if you think of yourself as like strong or some type of thing. When you get in there and you see everybody else pushing way more weight than you, it's a little mentally intimidating. So just build it up. Start with the calisthenics. But that goes with anything, like for example with the podcasting idea. We didn't just set up a camera and just say click, let's start doing it. We built up in little steps. We started talking first, building ideas, planning out ideas. So I feel like you said, breaking it down into different steps and building momentum. That's the biggest thing, momentum. Momentum. You never want to like what's it called, the snowball effect? Yeah. You just gain that momentum as like, you know, you keep going. So that's the biggest thing. Like try never to stop. Obviously that's the whole point of consistency. Exactly. But and that's the hardest part too.
It's hard to keep going, stop for a little bit, and get back on.
Man,
like
how many times have you like actually stopped the process and then started again? And then like how discouraging has it been to actually catch back up to where you was?
It's because you feel like you damn near did it for nothing at that point. It's like, yo, I did all that hard work.
I was doing this.
Yeah, and then now you fell back. Then you gotta jump back on it. So it's like, the momentum is definitely like heavy. Definitely like
another thing about keeping momentum. Another thing about keeping momentum is you never want to be like it sounded like a has-been ass nigga. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Like when you stop and you start again, like for example, let's say the gym. You're like, oh man, I used to do that. I used to push 2 plates. Like okay, bro, do it now. Like no one wants to hear about what you used to be able to do. And when you keep that momentum going, it's easier for you to just keep going. Now, obviously, things happen, setbacks happen, so you gotta have ways to like break out of funks, which I feel like we should definitely talk about in a different episode. How to break out of a funk.
That's a fact. I'm gonna add to the momentum thing too. Tracking and scheduling. I feel like are two things. Tracking as far as like, all right, for me, what I do when we're on the gym topic, every week it'd be like, yo, I have like a calendar where I have like a green check or an X or like, you feel me, what, like depending on if I went that day. So whatever you track becomes measurable. So it's like, all right, the reason I'm getting this result is because I went this many days this month.
Yeah.
Or the reason I'm not is because I didn't go this many days. Even like with let's say expenses. I know you fuck with the Excels and shit. Tracking your expenses, like, yo, this is what's going out, this is what's coming in. You feel me? And just keeping an eye on it, because like you could be at the end of the month like, damn, how the hell I got 500 on my credit card, exactly. And it's because you weren't tracking. You don't know what's incoming and outgoing. And then scheduling is just like, all right, this week I'm gonna go to the gym Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then now you're basically tracking is looking backwards, scheduling is looking forwards.
Yeah.
So now it's like with the expenses, and it's like, all right, Monday I'm gonna pay this bill, You know, certain shit come up, you get a flat tire.
Yeah, of course.
Shit happens, but just having like an idea, like, all right, this is what's coming in, this is what's going out, so this is what I'm gonna do with the funds that's actually coming in and going out. But
for sure,
I feel like that's another cheat to staying consistent.
Yeah, nah, that's a fact. That's a great point. And that's another way of building momentum too.
Right,
if you're constantly tracking and scheduling, it's like you already got yourself in a routine of doing it. So now you just gotta keep doing it.
Right.
And I feel like it becomes fun after a while because you start to feel the progress. Like once you start feeling those results a little bit, and you're like, okay, let's say you budgeting, right? Let's say
that's a fact.
Oh, I didn't realize I was spending this much money on like liquor or whatever. You start tracking it, you're like, wow, I did all that. And then you do better the next month, you track it, and like, wow, look at that. I did that, and now you got extra money for some clothes, some investments, some, self-improvement stuff, whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
So I definitely agree with you on that one.
Nah,
that one is crucial.
Nah, word up.
That one is crucial.
Let me ask you this. Alright. You're being consistent.
Oh, yeah.
You're avoiding ways to stop being consistent, like just like not you feel,
the bad way.
Yeah, you feel me? Not to fall off your high horse or whatever. You're tracking your scheduling, you got your momentum going, everything. Now, when do you know when to quit? Or like when, you feel me, like when it's time, or is there a time to quit?
So you're saying like, so say like we've been working consistently at something and it's just not making progress?
Yeah, right.
Like a goal, for example, right? Because like, I'll say never quit tracking your finances.
Right, for sure.
But damn, that's a good question. So I say there's always some type of situational awareness you gotta have whenever you're doing something, embarking towards the journey, right? Maybe you want to be like a rapper, but you're not really good at rapping. So maybe you take that and say, okay, this hasn't been working out. I've been doing this for consistently. I've been following I've been putting out music. I've been recording new music, linking with new people, promoting my music, doing everything I'm supposed to do, but it's just not working out. I would say maybe like there's some type of time constraint that you have to it, and you have to be real with yourself in terms of the effort you was giving. Now, if you know you was kind of like bullshit, not really giving it your full, maybe you should like keep going and actually give it like a real effort. But if you've been giving like consistent all you can have for like some time now and it just hasn't worked, I would say get some opinions from other people in your circle, right? Ask them if you've gotten better, if they could really see you doing this. Now hopefully you've got people in your circle that you could distinguish who are the right people and not the right people to ask this question, because a lot of people have like insecurities that they project onto you, so they might just be like, you ass off rip, and they might discourage you, and they may not be the truth. So if you got some real ones that you could really depend on and like really ask their opinion on, not even if you're good, but if they've seen growth. You know what I'm saying? If you're not growing, you should stop. You know what I'm saying? If you're not growing and you've been put like all that time and effort consistently, it's time to do something else. It's time to pivot. And it may not be like, okay, you want to be a rapper, but I'm not good at rapping, or I don't got the delivery or whatever. You might become a writer. Or you might become like I don't know, you might get a job with a label. You know what I'm saying? Something that's within the sphere, but not necessarily exactly what you want to do.
I feel that. That. And I like how you said, like, yo, never quit, because that's like, some people quit too fast, too. It's like, yo, it's been like a year, 2 years maybe. Bro, if you like 25, 30, 35, like, you've been around for 35 years, and this, you feel me? So you can't let 1 or 2 years to really determine what you do. But I would say, like, all right, maybe it's like, all right, now it's time. You've been trying this way, you tried that way. Maybe you need to quit your strategy, or maybe you need to quit your way of thought and try to pivot a different way, like you said, or be a writer, be a producer, or just get in the field somehow, get your feet wet. Like, look at Kanye, for instance. They say he was he good at, you feel me? With producer, then rapper, then doing all other types of shit. You know, know that he be on. You know what? I ain't even gonna get.
I know what you're saying. I
ain't even gonna get into that.
You know if you were Kanye,
you know how Kanye be. Like Kanye, but yeah. So it's just like I still think consistency matters, but maybe you should just pivot you know, your strategy or trying a different way of attaining what you're trying to attain, basically.
I'm gonna go back a little bit. Like, I agree with everything you just said for sure, but going back in terms of like why people aren't consistent is a little bit is the expectations too. Not only is it boring, but people don't know what they about to get out of that.
Yeah, right.
And like when people do, like not all people, but when some people like actually chase something and they put their all towards it, they tend to think it's going to be the best case scenario, like Kanye.
Right.
Everybody think they might be Kanye.
Right, yeah, that's a fact.
There's only one Kanye so far.
Been a million niggas jumped off the cliff, you feel that, didn't get the Kanye.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, you have to, I'm not saying don't expect the world, but like sometimes if you go into something thinking it's just going to be like the best case scenario, that could discourage you when it doesn't ultimately pop off. So temper your expectations. Again, like not saying like don't believe in yourself or don't put the best foot forward, but understand that it could take some time to really get to where you got to get to, and don't get discouraged. Again, like what you touched on, some people quit too fast. And I'm not saying, hey, you've been trying for 2 years, quit, it's not gonna work. I'm saying really understand if you are good at this, or if you're getting better. To understand if you can make some money doing that.
That's a fact.
But yeah, like people. And another thing about, sorry, I'm just going crazy.
Now you go, bro, drop it over. Go ahead.
Another thing about like the expectations is like just like the non-guaranteed results too. So it's just like they're doing all this work, whether they even expect to be Kanye or not. Whatever they expect to be is not guaranteed that you're gonna get a output from this input. So that's scary.
If I and I like that. Like to piggyback off that, let's say you put yourself in a mind frame, yo, I'm gonna get Kanye a result if I do the work. How hard would you really work? So like if it's like, all right, don't expect to be Kanye, but if it's like, yo, if I just keep on putting in the work, I'll get that result. Would you like? I think that helps with consistency because it's like maybe not expecting the outcome, but like just try to get in the mind frame like if the outcome is guaranteed, how hard would I work? Because I feel like the only time we work as hard is when it's something guaranteed. Like, all right, because some people would be slacking at work too. I ain't even gonna say work because you know you're getting a paycheck, but let's say it's like, yo, this is gonna be funny, but like it'd be a lot of talk about this. Like, yo, you take shorty on a date, and then afterwards, you feel me, nothing kick off. You like, yo, you feel, before when you had that expectation, you was opening doors. We go to the restaurant, but soon as now it's the whole switch. Now you acting way different. You feel me, right? Why didn't you just continue doing what you was gonna do before the expectation was there? Because she never said, yo, after we do all this, we're gonna So it's like you put in that work, not knowing you had an expectation, but you didn't know the result. In that short term, you feel me, that's only one night. But I'm just saying, like, if you could continue to do that, you feel me, you could continue to do that with whatever you're trying to attain, I think then that like you'll continue to really put in the work type shit.
That's a fact. If outcomes are guaranteed, shit,
everybody go through
that's the hardest part too. And then like when you already picture something and then it don't happen how it's supposed to, that also discourages you when it's just not clicking. So it's just like sometimes it's hard. Like I said, it's a case by case scenario. But just understand if you're making progress, that's the first thing.
Progress. Whether it's like a little millimeter, progress is what it is.
Progress.
Not for sure.
And then take some reevaluation time. Really sit down and be like, yo, why am I doing this? Like, do I still want to keep doing this? And if the answer is a yes, if it makes sense, stay with it, even if you're feeling emotional, even if you got to put it down for a week and come back to it. Exactly. I don't recommend that because momentum is everything.
But sure. It's hard to build that
sometimes when you're in a rut, putting it down, coming back to it is the best thing to do.
That's a fact.
Bro, it's just so many ways, bro. How would you what do you think you should stop being consistent in?
What should you stop being consistent? Let's say I think you should stop lying to yourself.
Elaborate.
Stop lying to yourself. Cause I feel like I realize this. People like, even for myself sometimes, I'm not even gonna say people, but sometimes myself, like we'll let's say all right, boy, I'm like, yo, we're gonna record this podcast on Saturday, and it's like we commit to that. But if it's just me, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do something on Saturday, and it's me, and just be like, all right, whatever.
Right.
Like we hold like more value to our external words than what we like promise ourselves. So like, and that's just like one way, or like I said with the stop drinking thing, it's like, all right, stop drinking, and then you just let me just have one shot. It's like, if it was something external, I feel like we hold more weight on, like it's more valuable.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you feel me?
So it's like you feel like it's someone to keep you accountable, or do you feel like it's someone to keep? Do you feel like that's coming from like you like trying to be your best image in front of people, or is it you just not wanting to let someone else down? How do you feel?
I think,
or is it none of that?
I think with the external you have to, or at least it's like a real, it becomes a real thing when it's external, because like with me, only me and me got to deal with it, even though that's like the biggest battle is like me, you, and you, or like that's who it's all about, but not really.
I know what you mean,
but externally it's like, all right, you said some bullshit, now it's like, all right, now you're a bullshitter now, you feel me? Whereas like with yourself, it's like,
it's like, I know I'm not bullshit.
I'm not a bullshit. Yeah, right, exactly. So you could really talk. Yeah, you could talk it out. You could talk yourself through it more.
Yeah.
That's one thing I think we should stop being consistent on.
That's a fact. And to stop lying to yourself, I'm gonna take your shit and spin it.
Let me hear.
Stop lying to yourself in terms of like how much effort you giving. In terms of like, whether are you like, yes, you may be tired, but could you do more?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying you got to be Kobe Bryant of life. Right. You don't got to be the most dedicated in the gym at 24/7. You feel me? Grinding all the time. But just be honest. Like, if you not are where you want to be right now, really look at yourself in the mirror and be like, what am I doing that could change this? And like, do I even want to put in that effort to get to where I got to get to?
Right, having that humility.
Yeah, stop lying to yourself. I know it's very easy, especially with all the influences now that we get from everywhere. Yeah. It's easy to just want to look like you shining, but be real with yourself.
Right.
Another thing, that was like the negative part, but another thing, stop doubting yourself too. Stop consistently thinking that you can't do things just because of whatever reason. You know what I mean? Whatever, it doesn't matter that you didn't go to Harvard and get an MBA in finance. You could still make some money in the stock market. Right, exactly. It doesn't matter that you didn't study real estate in college. You could still get some money in the real estate market. You could still learn it on YouTube University.
Right, especially nowadays.
Yeah, so many resources, man. It doesn't matter that you didn't go to college. You could still make a multi-million-dollar business. Just, you know, it's all of this is motivational shit that you heard before, but it's true. Like all of these generic sayings and all these like quotables and stuff that everybody say, it's true.
Really true.
It works.
It be the simple things for real.
Yeah.
It really be the thing is, like, we hear the simple things so much, so we disregard them
all the time.
You feel me? So like, yeah, whatever, yeah. But
it's like, all
right. Right. But I think. And I think we touched on this one time, but I think just keep reminding yourself daily with like this kind of information, like whether it's books, podcasts, you know, just keep reminding yourself of this kind of information, because it's like it's just reiterating it. Like it's like just doing reps. You feel me? So it's like if you, let's say you stop reading, you stop doing everything for like a year, it's gonna come a time where you start like losing that kind of information, because like whatever's the most recent is gonna be the one that's like you're piling on. So. I agree though.
Yeah, and to that point, I got a lot of things for this topic. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
I'll say just stop not applying that information. Like you said, you keep absorbing all that information. Eventually it becomes stagnant. It gets old. Make it happen. Put it into motion.
Right.
And like putting it into motion doesn't always mean, oh, I just got my first property. I just did this. It could be those baby steps.
Right,
like for example, I just created my first budget. I just saved my first $1,000. Just create some momentum in somewhere.
Another one. Stop announcing things before, like, prematurely.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, I'm about to. I got a New Year's resolution. I'm about to like do it.
Just shut up.
Do it. Yeah. I would rather see. I just did, whether people call it flexing or not, like, not do it for yourself. Like, yo, I just did this instead of I'm about to do this. Yeah. So amongst your peers, of course, yo, cause I'm about to, I'm trying to get this property. I'm doing the process.
Right.
Yo, I just bought a property. To the outside world, you could, you can say what you say, but I would really like to see more of, yo, I did this and I'm about to do this.
Yeah. And that comes from that, like, satisfaction that it comes. It's so easy to get, like, when you feel like you're about to do something, it feel like you made a decision.
Yeah,
it feels
you
like
did.
you did make a decision.
Right. No,
Like,
I'm not saying it's like when you say like you're about to do something, it's like you did it.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you did
exactly.
it. But you didn't.
You didn't do it.
You didn't do it at all.
I'm doing it, but you didn't do it.
And everybody's proud of you, like, oh yeah,
Right.
But you didn't do it yet.
Right.
So I don't know, man. And it's easy. Like I've done it. We've all done it so many times.
It's all from
It's a way to
experience.
get like excited.
Right.
But how many times has that backfired?
Right,
Now I'm at the point now where I damn near don't like telling nobody nothing until it's like really deep into it.
Exactly.
So I don't know. It's it's both ways. It's both sides to it. But I agree.
No,
I agree. What's your personal you should stop doing personally?
Me personally, what should I stop doing consistently?
Yeah.
Consistent right now. I keep like I'll make like this isn't fitness, but I'll like I'll do a leap forward and take like one step back. Or like 2 steps back, and then like take 1 step forward again, 2 steps forward, and 1. So it'd be like I'll take 2 forward and 1 back, and that translates into like I'll be consistent working out. It'd be like a week or 2 consistently eating, and then I'll do a week of like eating bullshit and just you feel me. So it's just like up and then a little bit back, up and then a little bit back, instead of like just keep on chugging.
Right.
But that's I could say that's one of mine right now, top of mine, like most recent ones. What about you?
I say for me, it'll probably be like over promising. Sometimes I feel like I just want to do things. I'm a people pleaser sometimes. I try to make people happy, especially people I care about. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I just be like, yeah, I can do this. I can do that too. I can do that too. And I don't sit back and think and like, damn, do I really have time for this? Do I have the energy for this? Do I want to do this? Am I gonna have an attitude if I feel some type of way?
Right.
So it's like, just start saying no a little bit more, or not even saying no more, but just being more selective about what I say yes to.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah, I feel like that just free up more mental energy for more things. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
And just create that line in the sand. So
I feel that.
It's all important, man. Let us know what you should stop doing. This has been another episode.
Consistent and go ahead, close them out. My fault.
No. Hey, go ahead, brother. What you got to say? I was gonna say, bro, we don't know what you moving to. We don't know what you doing, but we hope you moving on purpose.
Yes, sir.
This has been another episode. Any closing words for the people?
Just keep on moving on purpose. Stay tuned in. We coming out with weekly episodes, and
For surely.
that's that, man.
Yes, sir. That's it.
And that's that.